So yes, we were discussing on email templates of HTML type of templates. So HTML using letterhead. So we have created a letterhead and then used that particular letterhead in our HTML type of template. So the drawback of this letterheads is like it won't be allowed in some secure networks, and that's where we will have to go ahead with custom type of email templates. So in the custom type of email templates, we would be making use of HTML tags. So we just learned about few simple tags: bold, italic, underline, break, and anchor tag. So these are the basic tags which are used for in our HTML programming. And hope you have completed this particular assignment. Create an email template to notify candidate on submitting the candidature successfully to your position. So till here we have completed. Hope you have done the assignments. And if you have any doubts, you can go ahead and ask me in the previous class. So coming to our custom type of template, making use of HTML, again, we can go ahead and use the same format. So how the only difference is like we would be designing this particular uh, email subject and content by making use of the HTML tags. So that's the only difference. So instead of using the letterhead, we would be designing this particular uh, email subject and email body with the help of HTML tags. So let's use the same uh, format which we were using for our hiring manager record. So here we just need to use our uh, HTML tags. So in the content, probably in the uh, subject, you may not be using mostly. So in the content, let's say, so dear hiring manager. So here I just want to have a break tag, uh, sorry, a bold tag. The name of that person is going to be displayed in bold. So we just need to add our HTML tags in our content so that these HTML tags will be, formatting the text, formatting the body content of email to our required format. So I'm just putting the name in a bold format. So welcome about. So this also I need it in bold. So you can use the bold tag. Uh, so here, if you see, we will have a new line, right? So we just need to put the break tag. So I'm putting the break tag for twice as we need just two lines after this. And after this, I need a single line. So we can put a break tag here. So similarly, we can do some kind of formatting for this. So let's say for our hyperlink. So we were just directly formatting it on our letterhead using the hyperlink. So here what we will be doing is we will have to uh, use anchor tag. So visit us at, let's say anchor tag starts here. So I already have this anchor tag data, so which just needs to be marked as an anchor tag. So I just need to close it. So you can format your text, making use of HTML programming, and then try this particular subject and body without create an email template of type custom, and you will not be using letterheads anyway. So only thing is you will have to make some HTML programming here to beautify our email content body and then use it in our email template. That is it. So that's all about our third type of email templates, that is custom type of email templates. So we have created this is another project which I'm working. Let's log into our org. So here in our org, let's go to our email templates. Communication templates, under that classic email templates. So if we go here, so we have created a couple of templates. So when we click on new template, yes, we have done a practice of text type of email template. Along with the text type of email template, we have also made use of other type of fields called merge fields. So merge fields, to get the data, we have used a small tool here. And then we have created a letterhead so that we can make use of. So we have given a demo on HTML type of templates using letterhead. And now that in order not to have a letterhead, and also in order to have our email body content to be formatted, we are going with HTML programming. So make use of some tags of HTML and then format your email body. So for that, you will have to go here and click on custom and create the template. So and copy paste this particular content, subject and content, which we have formatted it with the help of HTML. So by when we are formatting it in the output, we don't get these tags. We just get the formatted output. So this the hiring manager name will be in the bold. Okay. So welcome aboard will be in bold, and we can even use the font tag also. We have some other tag called font, so we can change the font size, color, font type, like whether it's the Times New Roman, Arial, or Vedana, or Tahoma. So you can mention the font type, font size, font color, background color. So you can mention all those using making use of HTML tag called font. So we can do beautify our email body with the help of HTML programming, and that's where our uh, custom type of email templates has been completed. So, okay. So Visual Force, we will be learning it as part of development because we have to do some Visual Force programming for it before we go into it. Okay. So this is all about email templates. So yeah, you can go ahead and do this assignment, create a custom email template to notify hiring manager on filling a position on position object. So just create a custom type of email template, make use of some HTML programming to beautify your email body, and then bring in that records using the merge fields. So this is the assignment for you for today. Okay. So coming to the next topic, it is data management or data migration, we call it. Excuse me. So this data management is nothing but data is nothing but a set of in our Salesforce. It's the objects which contain the records. So data represents the records inside the Salesforce object. By using this data management, we can perform all DML operations on the Salesforce objects. So when I say DML operations, it is data manipulation language. It can be insert, update, delete, export, upsert. So these are the DML operations, which if you have known SQL, SQL, probably you will have an idea of what a DML is. So DML means data manipulation language, and we can perform these operations using our DML. Okay, so for anything, all the records information is the data in our Salesforce, right? So whenever you insert a record, whenever you update a record, yes, you are actually doing the data management. Okay, so why we call it as data migration? Just because the reason is like some an organization of name XYZ has been for so many years it has been working on SAP. Okay, so now they have come across Salesforce and they understood the benefits of Salesforce. They understood the licensing costs of Salesforce. So now what they wanted is they wanted to go ahead and move their complete system into Salesforce uh, from SAP. Okay. So in that case, what happens is whatever the data we have in the SAP system, we will have to uh, import that data or migrate that data from SAP system to our Salesforce. So that's where the migration projects comes into picture. So if a client was using previously some XYZ software and he wanted to come into Salesforce, so in that case, uh, we will be going ahead and doing the data migration, that is pulling out data from the previous legacy system of the client to our into the Salesforce org. So that's where we call it as data migration. So it's all about data, right? Any kind of CRM system is all about data. So Salesforce is also not an exception. So it has to deal with the data. So Salesforce has got its own database called database.com. So yes, like a few other CRM systems, they depend on third-party database tools. Okay, maybe SQL DB or OracleDB or MongoDB or so it depends on different uh, database systems as a third-party tool. But Salesforce has got its own database system that is called database.com. So it manages its own database. Right. So this is all about data management and data migration. So data management is managing the data which is present within Salesforce, and data migration is um, pulling the data from a different system into Salesforce because the customer wanted to move to Salesforce instead of his previously being used legacy system or legacy software. Okay. So while performing these operations on the records, we have like the below ways how we can perform operations on each records. Okay. So the first one is page layouts. So page layouts, when I say, so we have created some page layouts, right? Let's go to our org. Let's go to our Lightning experience. Okay, so I'm on accounts. Let's say, so let's say I want to create a new account. So this is one page layout, right? Account layout. So by default, we have every object has its own layout. So for accounts, it's account layout. So we can create for accounts also, we can create a new page layout and we can assign it to account whenever a new account is created. So instead of this being, we have the data in two columns, right? We can make it to be in four columns also, like one, two, three, four, something like that. Or one, we can go data like this. Uh, in this way in like Z, or we can also go like this, like the horizontal ways. So that way we can design our page layouts within our Salesforce. So here, what is the drawback of this is we are just working on one single record, right? So we can insert a record by clicking on new. So we can go ahead. We can also do edit. We can also edit this record. Okay, click here, edit. So we can edit this record. We can update this record. We can create this record. Okay, so all the DML operations we were able to do. Just we can do even the inline editing also for this candidate object. I don't have account site. I can write and give the account site as Texas, something like that. So I can do the inline editing also. So we are editing that particular record, right? So here, what is happening is making use of the page layouts. We are only working on one single record. So instead of multiple things, we are working on one single record. So the drawback of this page layouts is like we can work at a time on one single record. So let's say, so our let's take an example of a system which comes into Salesforce. It has got thousands of records. So I cannot go ahead and, add, making use of the page layout, keep on adding the records. So thousands and thousands, maybe 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs of records, and I can go sit and add those records, right? So for that reason, this is having a drawback of using page layouts. We have another concept called Apex programming. So by making use of this Apex programming, we can perform DML operations on multiple records at a time. Okay. So here actually we can perform. Again, when I say Apex programming, probably you should be new to hear this. So similar to any other programming languages, Apex is a object-oriented programming language for specifically designed for Salesforce. So it is object-oriented. Anything you consider it it as an object, and uh, you have classes within this programming. So similar to let's say any other object programming like object-oriented programming concepts like Java. So similar to that, we have objects classes in Apex programming also. So Apex is our programming language for Salesforce to uh, automate the tasks, to do any kind of tasks which are not possible within our CRM system. So some kind of tasks are like not possible with the help of configuration, just the configuration. So we cannot do that. So in that case, we can go ahead and write an Apex program to fulfill our task. So here also, in order to insert multiple records at a time, we can go ahead and write an Apex program to insert multiple records at a time. So here, one of the point to note is each DML statement can process only 10,000 records at a time. So again, so in Apex programming also, we will have something like governor limits, which will hit. So we, while writing the Apex programming, we will have to make sure that we are not hitting the governor limits, and we have to make sure that our complete data is being processed. So that is another important point which we have to make a note while using Apex program. So we will talk more about Apex programming in our development classes later. Okay. So there is another data management tool which is called data import wizard. Okay. So this data import wizard is like it's a tool which is used, is a feature which supports to perform only import operations on the object records. So it's one of the important tool which is given as part of Salesforce itself. So we have this data import wizard feature in every a Salesforce org, which supports all the import operations. So one of our problem is solved. If a new client comes in, he comes with so much of data. So probably we making use of the data import wizard, we can migrate the data from his legacy system to the Salesforce org. So we can do that. So data import wizard will process a maximum of 50,000 records at a time. So if we have like 10 lakhs of records or 20 lakhs of records, so we will have to divide them into bunches of 50,000 each, and then data import wizard will can perform the operation. Okay. So it supports operations on, yeah. So here data import wizard, it supports import operations on all custom objects and 5 standard objects like account, contact, lead, solution, and campaign. So this import data import wizard, it works completely well on all our custom objects which we create, and only 5 standard objects. It means it won't work on other standard objects. So if you see the 5 standard objects, account, contact, lead, solution, and campaign member, these are the 5 standard objects which data import wizard will work. So if you come and say opportunity, so my data import wizard will not work on the opportunity object in Salesforce. So that's one of the drawback of data import wizard. Okay, so let's go to our org, go to setup. So if you type data import, we'll have this data import wizard coming up. Click on this. So this is an important feature or tool provided by Salesforce, so which is again a part of our Salesforce org itself. So we are happy to use it. So if you go here, data import wizard, just go ahead and click on launch wizard. Right. So here, if you see the standard objects, we can see accounts, contacts, leads, solutions, and campaigns, right? Like I was telling. So this data import wizard will work only on these particular 5 standard objects. Other standard objects, it's not going to work. If you say opportunity, my data import wizard will not work on opportunity object. And when we click on custom, all our custom objects which we create, so the data import wizard will work. The candidate object, the hiring managers, positions, whatever custom objects you create, it will be shown here. That means we will be able to make use of data import wizard with those objects. So yes, so this is all about data import wizard. So it supports operations on like the five standard objects which we were talking, and we have to supply the records to the wizard. Okay. So the major point here is the data import wizard will work uh, on files like which are .csv file format. So .csv means comma separated value. So in order for any type of organization to come into Salesforce, we need to do the data migration. So we expect an input file of the previous data in a .csv file format. So if we are supplied with this .csv file format data, we can go ahead and use this data import wizard, and we can Hmm. we can import the data into the Salesforce out. So that's where we can uh, start using our, processing the records or processing the data within the Salesforce out. So whenever any kind of, so what's the important use of this data import wizard is, so whenever any new clients comes in, they have loads and loads of data, so which has to be integrated into the Salesforce system. So in that case, what we do is we make use of data import wizard. And so here also there is a limit. By using this data import wizard, we will be automating different new clients into our Salesforce org. We will be creating a Salesforce org for them, and then we will be importing their data into our org. So that's how we automate or we take new clients into our Salesforce system. So, so one of the important drawback is you can import up to 50,000 records at a time. So only 50,000 records at a time we can import. Maybe if we have 10 lakhs of records, probably we will have to do it 20 times, right? So that's one of the simple drawback. So if the client who is coming into Salesforce is like a small client, probably data import wizard will work for them if they have less than 50,000 records. So in that case, probably I can make use of data import wizard easily, and then migrate the data from a previous system to Salesforce. So the drawback here is if I have like 5 million, 10 million records, and a big organization has come to Salesforce and they want to go ahead their automation to be done through Salesforce. So they want their CRM system to be as part of Salesforce org. So in that case, the data import wizard may be, slow tool, I would say. So because we can process only 50,000 records at a time, right? So that's the drawback. So the navigation to find out this data import wizard is click on setup, go to setup, and in the quick find box, you can type wizard, you can type import wizard, whatever. So this is our go-to place for data import wizard. Click on this. Okay. So here, go ahead and click on launch wizard. And here is where our actual tool comes in, like how we can do the import. Okay. So we will have to select the record, see the operations it gives, right? So you can, for this to do, probably I need to have a .csv file as an input file to do a data import, right? So this is all about data import wizard. And as I said, there was one free drawback, like we can process only 50,000 records at a time. So coming to our next point is the fourth one. It is data export. So data export is another feature within Salesforce, which is again given as part of our Salesforce CRM only. So by using this one, we can export the records from the Salesforce objects and store them to the local drive in the form of .csv files. So data export, when I say, so it is like already available data in our Salesforce, or I just need it to be, suppose my client has asked me for last 2 weeks of data which flows into the Salesforce org. I wanted that to be mm, so I want that particular data to be coming into my Salesforce. I just need to export that from Salesforce org and show it to one of my um, director who want to analyze the data. So in that case, we can go ahead and do a data export. So data export wizard will support all standard objects and all the custom objects of Salesforce. Okay. So we can export multiple objects data at a time. Right. So even we can also export not only one single object data, we can export multiple objects data at a time. And we can export the data either, manually, or we can make it scheduled also based on the periodical intervals. Okay. So let's say I want an export to be scheduled weekly every Saturday. Like why Saturday? Probably if there is assuming there are less number of users who are working on our Salesforce or on Saturdays. So that is when we can do this kind of mass imports and exports on our Salesforce org. So every Saturday I'm not in office, but I want the data to be exported and sent to it should send an email to me. Yes, by making use of this data export tool, data export wizard, excuse me. So by making use of this data export wizard, I can go ahead and export the data into a file and then send it to me. So that I can do it. So again, let us go to our Salesforce org. So, so I'm here on our application. So go to setup and in the quick find box, type export or data export. So go to data export. This is the one which we were talking about, data export tool. Okay. Right. Here you can see two options, right? One is export now, one is schedule export. So when I say export now, when I click on export now, here I have multiple options like what data to be exported and what information I need to export. Okay. So let me take include images, documents, and attachments. Do I need this? I don't think I need include Salesforce files and Salesforce CRM content document. Okay, I need this. Replace carriage returns with spaces. Okay, and export file. See, this is the format, like whichever format we need, we can do based on this. The given type of formats, maybe Unicode or so I'm going with one of the format and export data. Select what type of information would you like to include in the export. The data types listed below use the Apex API names. If you are not familiar with this name, select include all the data you export. See, these are the API names, so we can select. So I just want um, only the account related data to be exported, and also I want, let's say, case case related data to be account and case related data to be exported. So I just selected those two, and you can just click on start export. So it will do the export. See, it's saying data export is currently in progress, right? So it will export the data, and you can see a message here. Your export has been queued. You will receive an email notification when it is complete. So here as an org owner, so whatever email I supplied to them in the org, so to that email, Salesforce is going to send an email saying your export is complete. So, and the file, it is going to send it to me, even along with the attachment. So this is how you can do a data export by making use of data export tool. So data export lets you prepare a copy of all your data in salesforce.com. From this page, you can start the export process manually or schedule it to run automatically. When a report is ready to download, you will receive an email containing a link that allows you to download. So if the file is very large, it will send a link. If the file is a smaller one, it will also send sometimes an attachment on your and as an email. So you'll get an email once the export is completed. The export files are also available on this page for 48 hours. See, after which they are deleted. So for 2 days, the export files will also be available here. Okay. So I'm still waiting for that email. Okay. So meanwhile, let us do okay. So hope you understood what data export is all about. So data export is a tool which is used. Export wizard is used to export the records. Salesforce org. So when in Salesforce, we call any type of organization as org. Okay, organization. So the organization full form. So we call it as org in Salesforce. So it can export multiple objects data. So not only one single object, multiple objects it can export. It can work on all standard objects as well as custom objects. All standard and all custom objects, right? So this is what, so the data export wizard is, it is mainly used, the reason for this is like it's mainly used as a backup. So what I will do as a Salesforce administrator is every week I want the data to be exported, and it needs to be posted on one of my shared drive. Okay, so as a backup. So if there is some problem on my Salesforce org, I'm safe that the data is already saved in my shared drive. So till date, suppose some issue happened today. So it's on Wednesday 15th, some issue has happened and my Salesforce org has collapsed. Of course, I'm 100% sure it will never happen, but in IT industry, it is like we will always keep DR side, DR side in the sense disaster recovery side. Okay, so we will have a copy of data uh, which is called A side, which is the production data. And we will have a copy of the same data on B side, which is a disaster recovery data, DR site. So for any data center, you will have disaster recovery, DR center also. So similarly, just in case something happens, so that's where my data is safe. That's the reason as an administrator, I'll make use of this data export wizard, which is provided freely as part of Salesforce CRM itself. So I'll make use of this and export the data every week. So something happened. So today is me 15, and some issue occurred due to, or some user has done some kind of manipulations on my data on the Salesforce, or which he is not aware of, and which has corrupted or spoiled the complete org data. So in that case, I have the latest available data, that is on Saturday 11th. So till 11th, I have the complete data available with me, which I can again do an import to Salesforce org. So the records which were like added on 12, 13, 14, 15, these are the only records which are lost. So it is like we are saving minimal loss, right? So this is how data export wizard works. Okay. So when it comes to, yeah, navigation, as I was showing you, go to setup, go to the quick find box, type data export, click on data export, and here you will see our data export tool. Yeah, see, our export has been completed. Okay, see, we can, here is the file. As they were saying, it will be available here for 2 days, 48 hours, and you can download this data and see. Since it is Unicode, I'm not sure what format, but we can also have a CSV format if I'm not wrong. So let me see. Yeah, it's already CSV. Okay, see the account data. This is the account data which I have in my org. So I have this 15 records. Okay, so let us cross verify. What do you say? So I'll go to accounts. Okay, I'll open the accounts in a new tab. Go to accounts, click on accounts, and all accounts should be 15 records. See, we have 15 records, right? Let's say a record called position and hiring manager Genie Point. Okay, let's see if it is available in this Excel. See, position, hiring manager, Genie Point. Yes, everything is available with the data, complete data. Here is my account ID. Is deleted is 0. See, there is one interesting point I can tell you about this is deleted. Why is this field available here? So if suppose this is mentioned as 1 instead of 0, that means this particular account has been recently deleted, which falls within 15 days. Okay. So whenever a record is deleted in Salesforce, it will be staying in the recycle bin for 15 days. Post to 15 days without any notice, Salesforce will completely delete it. Okay. So that is the reason. So why this So why these are all 0? Because these are all not deleted records. If at least one of them would have been deleted, probably it wouldn't have been shown here. Okay. but in our export, it will be showing keeping this field as one. That means this is a deleted record, which is recently deleted before 15 days, within 15 days of time frame, right? So this is one other important feature, which provides as part of Salesforce. So is deleted, if it is true, that means it has been recently deleted. And if you are lucky enough, within 15 days you do this export and you find out that particular record has been deleted, and you can restore it, right? So this is the importance of this particular field. You have the ID, is deleted, master record name, master record ID, name, type, parent ID. So all these fields, right? So all the fields which we have in our org, all the fields are exported completely. So whichever has data, all those details has been exported completely. So let's see our, let's see our case. So how many records are there? So we have total 26 records, right? So let's go ahead and verify whether we have only 26 case. So let's go to the cases. So these are recently viewed cases. Let me go to, so these are open cases. We have only 3 closed cases. We have 23, 23 plus 3, 26, right? So we were having 26 records, right? All the open and closed. So again, you can see the is deleted here. So this is how we can export the data in Salesforce by making use of export. So this, if you do refresh, probably this should appear now. Because our export has been completed, right? So you are ready to do the next export. Okay, so let us click on schedule export, just to show the demo how it is going to work. So you can use whatever you want, the images, this thing, and you can select the format, whatever format you want. Usually this is the ISO 8859. This is the format which we, uh, standard format which is required. Schedule data exports. So we can schedule the data export also. So on day 1 of every month, so we can select this, right? On first Sunday of every month. Yeah. So first Saturday, fourth Saturday, or every month, right? Monthly ones, we can do it. So we can select the, again, start and end date and preferred start time also. So I would be selecting it as around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. In the midnight, because that is where I would prefer, because the traffic flow would be low on my Salesforce org. Yeah. And click on save and select on what type of objects we need to export, and we can do it. So even though we are not available here, and we could click save. So during that particular day of the month, or during that particular day of every month, so we can have an export run automatically, and it will be sending us an email with the results. And even after that also, for 48 hours, the file is available here in our data export wizard. So this is all, about data export. Try playing around data import and data export, and all this. Just have a look of all this data management tools. So today we got a chance to discuss about data management, data migration. So the major important point where in our real-time scenarios which works out. So page layout, the drawback is we can work only one single record. Apex programming we can work, but we will have to write some code, as well as we have something called governor limits on our DML statements. So each DML statement can process maximum of 10,000 records at a time. Okay. So we will have to keep in mind of governor limits. We can do. So in case of more than, you know, 50 lakhs or 100 lakhs of records, 1 crore records I have. So in that case, I would go for Apex programming. But the thing is, we will have to write the for loops and the loops, whatever loops we are going to work. So we will have to make sure our DML statements are out of the loop, and we are performing and touching each record. So, so we have to keep in mind of governor limits while programming also. So yes, we will learn more about it later. And then comes our data import wizard, which is a feature, provided to perform import operations. So we can process maximum of 50,000 records at a time, and it supports all custom objects and only 5 standard objects, which are this account, uh, account, contact, lead, solution, campaign member. These are the only 5 standard objects. That means data import wizard is not going to work on all standard objects, but only these 5 standard objects. And coming to other tool called data export, this tool is used to perform only exports. So to perform, why do we need an export? Reason is to keep a backup of data, or some of your management has decided to analyze the data in the system. Probably we can do an export and give it to them. Yes. So that's where our export feature comes into picture, and we can make use of it. So we can, export multiple objects data at a time, and it works on all standard and all custom objects. And we were doing the demo of export and schedule. So I'm not scheduling anything right now. So export now and schedule export, we were touching it. And data import wizard, we were having a look at it, like what are the fields we have. So our go-to place will be setup, and on the quick find box, you can search for data import wizard or data export wizard. Okay, export wizard or data export wizard. So this you can search and have a look on these details. Okay, so this is all about data management, data migration theory of class for today. Probably we will do look more into it tomorrow. So the assignment still with you. You can go ahead and do this assignment. You can do more formatting of HTML using HTML tags, and more formatting on your email content, and create this custom type of email content. Okay, so this is the assignment for today for you. And that is all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.